Hey everyone, this is Heidi Gusted from the blog Hands Occupied with a knitting tutorial for you. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the cables you need to work to create the honeycomb stitch. To work the honeycomb stitch, you need to cast on a multiple of 8 stitches on your knitting needle. And what we're going to be doing to create the honeycomb stitch, this is what 2 repeats horizontally and all the way down look like for the honeycomb stitch. So you can see that this is cables working in opposite directions to form these little beehive type openings. For demonstration's sake, I'm just going to do 8 stitches instead of more than 8 because that'll demonstrate the stitch repeats without taking a million years, which is great. So let's get started. So what we've got to do is start out with a C4F, or a cable 4 front. So we're going to be using these 4 stitches, and what we've got to do is take the first 2 stitches and place them on a cable needle. And since this is a C4F, we are going to hang those stitches in the front. Now what we've got to do is knit the next 2 stitches off of our left-hand needle. And then we can either work directly off of this cable needle, or what I prefer is passing those stitches from the cable needle back onto the left-hand needle in the correct order and knitting the 2 of them like so. So that's our C4F, and this is row 1 of our 8-row repeat for this honeycomb stitch. For the remaining 4 stitches of the row, we're going to do a C4B, or a cable 4 back. So we're going to put the next 2 stitches on our cable needle and swing that to the back of our work underneath our working yarn in between all of the stitches. So if I set this down briefly, this is the tail, we don't want to work with that, and this over here is our working yarn. So you can see these are the 4 stitches we just cabled, these are the 2 left on our needle, and then these 2 stitches are now hanging away from us at the back of our work. All right. So like before, we knit the next 2 stitches before replacing the 2 stitches on our cable needle on our left-hand needle. There's 1 and 2. We remove the cable needle and knit the last 2 stitches of that row. So this is row 1 of the 8 rows we're going to repeat to form this honeycomb stitch. So we worked with just that 8 stitches or a multiple of 8 stitches, but if you don't like starting or ending your row with a loose cable needle waggling around, you might want to add a couple garter stitches on the edges, which I actually did here in this swatch, just to make things a little less floppy as you learn this stitch. Now for rows 2, 3, and 4, we're just going to work stockinette stitch. So we're going to purl the wrong side, knit the right side, and purl the wrong side row. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then I'll show you how to do row 5, which is the next row that we cable. All right, so now we have knit 1 row, purl 1 row, and knit 1 row working flat, and we're ready to work the 5th row, the other cabled row of this stitch. So the only difference with row 5 versus row 1 is that you start with a C4B, a cable 4 back, instead of a cable 4 front, which you'll do for the second half of this row. So for a cable 4 back, we grab those first 2 stitches with our cable needle and swing it under our working yarn at the back of our work. Then we go ahead and knit 2 from our left-hand needle, pass the 2 stitches back off of our cable needle, and knit those guys. 1, 2. Then we once again grab our cable needle, hook 2 stitches, but this time they swing to the front. Then we knit 2, and then to finish out that row, knit the 2 stitches from the cable needle. And then just like rows 2, 3, and 4, we purl the wrong side rows, knit the right side rows, and purl the wrong side rows. So looking right here at this teeny weeny little swatch in blue that I've been working on, it doesn't look like too much has happened. But if we look at the larger swatch here, you can see that this lines up right here and right here and right here, etc., 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 with this stitch. So you can see how this teeny swatch tessellates out and lines up to form this beautiful honeycomb cable stitch. We hope you enjoyed this knitting video tutorial. If you have any comments or questions for us, go ahead and let us know in the comments, and don't forget to tune in soon for even more video tutorials.